Music is a higher revelation than all wisdom or philosophy. Music is the electric soil in which the spirit lives, thinks, and invents. That is a quote by Ludwig van Beethoven, and I just performed for you the third movement of his sonata in F minor, Opus 57, number 23. I'm still catching my breath. Opus 57, number 23, which is also called the Appassionata Sonata. And this piece was composed in 1805. And around this time, he also composed other pieces, such as his Eroica Symphony, which is his third symphony. He also composed his triple concerto for violin, cello, and piano. And he also composed his fourth piano concerto. Beethoven's music is usually categorized into three different periods. We have his early period, we have his middle period, and we have his late period. And the Appassionata and the other pieces I mentioned would fit into his middle period, which ranges from 1801 to about 1816, the early 19th century. And in this period, we see Beethoven exploring greater harmonic contrast. We see him exploring larger ranges in instruments, like register-wise. We also see him exploring greater dynamic contrast as well. And he's just exploring so many different sounds and ways of communicating through music. He was very innovative, and he was very much so inspired by his great contemporaries such as Bach, Haydn, and Mozart. However, we see him that he is exploring new sounds, and that he's starting to deviate away from the previous classical forms, which often gives him the deserving title of the linking bridge between the classical era and the Romantic era. So why this brief history lesson on Beethoven? Well, it is his 250th birthday this year. And I think it's so amazing that his music is still relevant today in the 21st century, and that it touches the souls of many people. And how haunting is it that whenever his music is played, a message from his heart 250 years ago comes to life. I think that's pretty amazing. So let's fast forward to 2020. We are in the 21st century, we're in a new decade. We're constantly evolving as humans, technology is advancing. And yeah, I think technology is such an amazing thing. I was listening to TED Talk earlier about how they're using technology. There's a guy that uses video games and an AI system to be able to solve cures for certain sicknesses. Like, that's amazing. I never get tired of traveling on the airplane. Just the way the plane lifts off in the air, I get so excited. We have smartphones, you can FaceTime with someone across the world, which is phenomenal. And so I've noticed that there are kind of two main themes. There's focus on communication and connection. And I find that even with all this happening, there's still a disconnect. We're still struggling with depression and anxiety. And I would wonder what it would look like if we decided to really communicate, decided to really make that important face-to-face contact and not just kind of blow it away with a cell phone, or what would it look like if at family gatherings we actually talked with each other, smiled at someone we walked by at the street. And going back to the quote earlier, music is a higher revelation than all wisdom and philosophy. Music is the electrical soil in which the spirit lives, thinks, and invents. I think what Beethoven is saying, and what I interpret it as, is basically saying that music is human. And I think that the greatest innovation of all time is actually human connection, because it's real, it's ever present, and it's so powerful. And so, speaking of human connection, since we're in 2020 and since we are innovators and since this is a TED Talk, I thought it'd be really cool if I could innovate right now and compose right now on stage. So I need a brave volunteer from the audience to come up on stage for me, please. Yes, you, come on up. Hi. What's your name?
Sarah. Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Are you nervous?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, so come to the piano, and I want you to choose about 5 or 6 notes within this range.
Okay.
Any random one.
Do you want me to hit each of them?
Yeah, anyone. Yeah. Thank you so much. You may go back to your seat. So I'm going to compose a song out of those 5 notes, and I'm going to title it Swan Song X.